Welcome back, John Morris Show on this Thursday, and what a treat to have Sophia Young Malcolm in studio with us.
I am here.
Very nice to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We need to stay in touch, do a better job of staying in touch, but thanks for coming in.
No problem.
Good to see you. What prompted the invitation? I don't need really anything to invite you, but I saw that the Baylor Black Alumni Association is going to honor you in the fall with the Barbara Walker Distinguished Achievement Award. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I've been to those dinners, those banquets before. They are very good, very well done. First class.
I saw you in some of the pictures when I was looking through when I was looking through that gallery. So I was like, oh, John's there.
I've been there. That was fun because a year ago or 2 years ago, they honored JJ Joe, who worked with us. So it was really nice. They did a really good job. But congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was a surprise for me. I know whenever I received the call from Marie, the president, I was like looking at my kids and I were just out shopping, and she called me. And I was like, who is this? And so she said, you won this award. And I was like, wait, who is this? Like, is this a prank? Like what? It was so out of the blue. And she had to do some convincing for she's like, no, it's real, And so I thought that was just really cool. It's like it came out of nowhere.
Very nice. Those are the best kind, aren't they?
Those are the best kind. Yeah, it's
exactly. And Marie is great.
Yeah.
I don't know if you met her in person yet, but she's great.
I have not yet.
She is a go-getter. Let me tell you. She pushes this and to make it as good as it can be and as good as it is. So you'll enjoy it when you get to meet Marie.
Good.
So congratulations on that.
Yeah.
So besides accepting awards, what else are you doing these days?
Well, I am a stay-at-home mom full-time right now. And let me tell you, that is a much more challenging job to me than just like coaching. Just because it's like, you have to wear so many different hats, and be in so many different places and know where everything is, even if you hadn't seen it before. It's like, hey, mom, have you seen this? And I'm like, I haven't even seen that, So like knowing where everything is, and that has just been a joy to me to be present. And I really didn't understand like how much I was missing until I'm present. So I am so grateful for this opportunity to be with my kids while they're at this age.
Very cool. Yeah. And that, to be honest, is part of the reason you stepped away from full-time coaching, right? I mean, that is so time consuming.
It is. Yeah. And college athletics is really tough. I love coaching. It's like, I always say, if I didn't have kids, that's literally what I would be doing is coaching, because I enjoy it so much. But it is time consuming, and something's gonna have to give, right? Yeah. And it was one or the other for me, this is not with everyone, but for me, that's what it was. And so I just realized, like, okay, my kids are this age, so let me really take some time to spend with them, and I'm grateful that I've done that. It's been a blast.
Very cool. And your kids are 8
My kids are 8 or 9.
8 and 9. Great age,
yeah. They're great age to where they still value everything that I say.
Of course they do.
Right.
They always will. Come on.
Sure.
Yeah. That'll never change.
Right.
You believe me there?
No way.
That's good that you have that time with them. I was mentioning you did radio with us for a couple of years.
I did.
You were great at it. You just stepped right in.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy that?
I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love being able to like concise a thought and put it in like a 10-second or a 20-second, feel for people to understand what was going on. And I was like, hey, if I ever get that opportunity again, I think I will do that, because it was really good. That's
cool. You were a natural.
Well, thank you.
You were a natural. You were very good at it. Tell me about, are you doing the podcast with Jermaine, with your husband?
Yes. So my husband and I do a podcast called Relationships and Reason. And that is just about like life, what is like being married, what is like having a relationship with friends and family, and how to navigate those, and when to set boundaries and how to set boundaries, and what to allow within your marriage, what to allow within your family, who raises your family, who talks to, who invests in you and your people. And so that has been a blast, him and I getting to do that together. Nice. There's been moments where we're just like, oh yeah, I don't agree with you, but so that's been really fun to do that with him.
That's good. Where would we find that podcast?
You can find that on Spotify or Apple. So anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find that.
Very good. And when you say family, I mean, your family is right here, but your extended family, is anybody close? Or are they on the West Indies or where?
My sister is actually in San Antonio. And my mother-in-law is in San Antonio as well. Gotcha. So they're the closest. Everyone else is in New York or Canada or England or back in the Caribbean. Wow. So I'm actually gonna get to go back and hopefully do a family reunion this coming Christmas. So that will be fun for us to connect.
I was gonna ask you, how often do you get back there?
I haven't been back since 2019.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah. So I am looking forward to it. My kids are looking forward to it, and we are excited to be on the beach in the water on Christmas Day.
On Christmas
on
Day.
Christmas Day. So that's how I grew up. That was my culture. So I'm looking forward to that.
Remind everybody, growing up, you didn't really play basketball. You started basketball really late.
I did.
And a great career, All-American at Baylor, national championship, WNBA, all of that. But you started really late, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I actually just got to share my testimony with a group of high schoolers at the FCA captains camp. Nice. And sometimes when you like look back in life and you start reading things, you're like, wait, who did that? That I can't believe, like the way that God has just worked within my life to give me these opportunities. I started playing basketball at 15 years old. 15 years old. So sophomore in high school, which now there's no way that you can go and make even a D1 college team to be starting at that age. But when I was growing up, I did not like watching basketball. I didn't play it. But when I came to the US and started playing, as a way to keep me from being like lonely and missing my family, like I just invested in basketball. Gotcha. So that's literally what I did all the time to keep my mind sane. Yeah. And with anything, the more you practice, the better you're gonna get. Sure. So I thought basketball just kept my mind away from anything. So whenever you're running down the court, it's so hard to breathe, and so you can't really think. You can't even remember a play, much just think about what's happening outside of the court. So I loved basketball for that reason. Yeah. It just kind of made me stop thinking about what I was dealing with, and I was just like, oh, this is actually really fun. I enjoy it. Like,
and you're good at it.
I was getting better at it at that point. And so I love running. I love the footwork. I love the hand-eye coordination. I started enjoying my teammates, and it became fun. And so that's literally what I did every day as a sophomore, and then happened to run into Coach Bo Roberts. You guys know a lot of him. He's a big part of my story, and he just happened to have a daughter that coached.
This is Jennifer's dad.
This is Jennifer's dad. Right, yeah. Right. That coach here.
And that's how lo and behold, that's how you got to Baylor.
That's how I got to Baylor. And so Baylor, I won't say like I went through this recruiting process where Baylor was trying to get me, for a number of years. It was just one call. Come watch me play, simple, and then Coach Monkey, offered me a scholarship, and that's why I think it's like all in alignment, where God just kind of aligned everything. So I didn't have to like stress out about like where am I going to go. It was like I came to Baylor, I loved it, and that's what I chose.
Wow. How about that? You think about how your steps were ordained.
Oh my goodness,
path, and it was a long path.
Oh my goodness,
to come to the United States, and then for Bo to see you and make the call and end up at Baylor and in the NBA. How about that?
Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. Like when I look back and I'm like, wait, how did I started off, being in the Caribbean, and coming to the US by myself,
How tough was that?
Oh my gosh. I started thinking about like my daughter at 15, I don't think there's anywhere in the world that I would allow her to get on a plane by herself with $40 with nothing that I know what's gonna happen, you know. But my mom, she trusted God for that process, you know. And for me, like, I felt like the Holy Spirit was just like, hey, it's time to go. And I just believed. I believed that God will take care of me.
Walk in faith.
That was a walk in faith moment.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So and every part of my journey has been that way. Wow. You know, even like I said, coming to Baylor, I wanted to go to Louisiana Tech out of high school because that's where all my friends were going.
Right.
I was in Shreveport, and Louisiana Tech was like a dominant powerhouse for women's basketball back then. And I went to their camp, and I did really well. You know, I got the MVP for the camp, so I was like, surely they're gonna offer me a scholarship. But then they didn't. They did not. Wow. You know, and
you were right in their backyard.
I was right in their backyard. And within that time, that's when Coach Bo was telling, you know, Coach Mulkey to come and watch me play. And so she came, saw me, offered me a scholarship. I signed in November to Baylor. And then in February, Louisiana Tech was starting to reach out. But then I had already signed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So so that to me was God's protection, and you know, with the way my life turned out, you're like, oh, thank God, you know, that I
wow, that's great. There. Do you stay in touch with Coach Mulkey?
I do. Yeah. I do. Yeah. I love the success that she's having, you know, at LSU, and one of my really good friends, and Simone Augustus, is coaching with her as well. So Simone and I played together overseas in Turkey, and so it's just been great, like connecting with her and seeing all the things that's happening. So that's so
great. You said also now you're working with Athletes in Action. What does that entail?
I am. Athletes in Action is a sports ministry that gets to work with college student athletes about their faith and discipleship, growing in their faith, and it's about like the total athlete. Not just about like the physical development or academic development, but like your spiritual development as well. When most of the time we see athletes in the on the court or on the field, and we're expecting them to just be powerful all the time, right? But there's a space where I often say, when you're laying in bed all alone, and it's just you and your thoughts, like, how do you handle those things when things are not going well? Right. And that's kind of where the spiritual component comes in. And so with Athletes in Action, we work to help with like the discipleship piece, the spiritual, you know, for them they can have the end goal is to develop a personal relationship with Jesus. Right. That's the end goal. But either way, it's like giving them that foundation, especially in college, to win life. Whenever they finish, then they can know that, hey, I remember somebody told me about, you know, Jesus back in college, you know, like how life is this way now, then I can trust in God for that.
Oh, man, you're so good. You're so good at that, and your story is so good. And I'm sure it impacts, you do some local camps. Do you do camps every once in a while here?
I do. I did one camp last Christmas where I worked with 4th grade to about 8th grade. And that turned out really well. So my plan is to hopefully do that again. Good. And I know that there's some opportunities that's coming with some club teams here in Waco. So I'm looking forward to all of that help with youth girls basketball development here in Waco.
And mentorship also.
And mentorship.
I mean, that's really big, I know, for you.
Yeah.
That's good. How about your time at Baylor, you know, the national championship 05? We'll never forget that. That is so fun. In fact, I reached out to you and tried to get you on the show when the NCAA tournament started, and your schedule wouldn't allow it. But every year when the tournament comes around, do you kind of relive those experiences?
It's one of those things you don't want to, for me, you know, whenever you meet somebody who has been like way past their time and you're like, hey, I remember when, and you're like, oh God, please, no, Mom. My kid's like, Mom, your time is over.
That's funny.
So I I relive that moment with my teammates a lot.
Good.
You know, whenever we get together and we just kind of talk about, you know, what that season of our lives was like.
Yeah.
You know, now that we're in the age that we are in, we just remember how free and how fun without responsibilities. You know, how that time in life was. But that journey was such to us. To me, such a pivotal time for me in my life, and such a pivotal time for the city of Waco as well, right? And so, so I run into people now who still remember, you know, what that was like, not just winning the championship, but what it did to the community, you know. So that's always very rewarding to hear when people talk about like, oh my gosh, you know, like you guys won a championship and what it did for Waco, because I think that propelled Baylor for the success that it would have in the future for every sport. You know,
very well said.
Yeah.
It was 21 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't that hard to believe?
I know. Oh, okay.
Oh, I mean, I was right there with you. But that was 21 years ago.
Gosh.
So very fun. Into the WNBA, San Antonio, and that was a great experience for you, wasn't it?
Oh my goodness. To be able to go from Waco to San Antonio was just amazing, because I had so many people from Waco drive down, you know, to the games often. And what I love to tell this story, because this is another God ordained incident for me. So the draft, the pre-draft, everybody was saying I was going to be drafted number 3.
Okay.
Right. That's what was supposed to happen. Okay. And in the draft room, I'm at the draft, and just knowing that I'm going to go 3 to Charlotte. That's what everybody said. So Charlotte's is on the clock, and they changed their mind, like in that middle, in that space. I found this out later. Obviously. Okay. In that space of time, they changed their mind and drafted Monique Curry in front of me. And Monique went on to have a fantastic career. But that left me with number 4, and I coached San Antonio, and Coach Hughes and Russ Bookbinder were huge parts of that. And so immediately they were like, get her.
That's right.
So with that, I stayed in San Antonio for my whole entire career. But within 3 years of being in San Antonio, the Charlotte organization, you know, folded, and then everybody on that team had to be dispersed, you know, all around the league. And so I often just thank God for that, just because, like, you know, if I was in that program or organization, I would have been one, you know, jumping around the league. But I was able to go to San Antonio and stay there my whole career, which is not common.
Very unusual. Once again, your steps were ordained even after Baylor.
Even after Baylor.
What do you think of the WNBA now? How much do you watch it, and what do you think about kind of where the league is right now?
I'm keeping up with it. Yes. So I watch it for the game mostly. You know, I watch it for like the skill, because I love skill development. So I'm often like, you know, looking at different skills that the players are doing. In fact, I was watching Indiana play. Who was I watching? I was watching a game last night, and my mind just went blank. But I was just like, oh my goodness, like a particular skill. I was like, I need to teach that. You know, so really? I watch the game for that reason. Yeah. There's a lot of drama that's going on with the league right now, and so some of it I just try to stay out of, because I just want to manage my own peace and not to, you know, get caught up in a lot of different things. I do love the attention that the WNBA is getting from the world right now. Women's sports is drawing a lot of attention, and I do like how people are buying into that. And there was a quote or an image last night that showed how the new players, and like, you know, Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers and oh my goodness, the player from TCU that just went to Minnesota. My mind just went blank. Anyways. Pardon?
Olivia Miles,
yeah. And just come in, and they're averaging like 6 assists and, you know, 20 points, and, you know, so they're saying like the league is, you know, in good hands of those players and what they're doing within the league right now. So you can tell that they're very skilled players, and they're gonna do a fantastic job. So I like to pay attention to that type of stuff when it comes to like the skill and what they're doing and what they're able to do, rather than
Right.
the outside.
Gotcha.
The
You
outside of
you watch
things.
for the game. You don't watch for the drama.
There's a lot of things that you can like get caught up with, and you're like, wait, how is this affecting my life? You know? So
yeah. Coach Colin took the team up to a Dallas Wings game recently, and she was telling me that it wasn't just go sit there and eat popcorn, you know, and scroll on your phone. She gave them things to watch for, and then there was a quiz. Like she asked them things after the game, either on the ride back or the next day. So it was like a teaching, coaching experience to go be there live at that game.
And I mean, some of the girls that's coming into Baylor, their goal is to make the WNBA. So it's like when you go to the game, like, are you just watching it just for fun, or are you watching it like, oh, I can be there in the next year, or I can be there in the next 2 years? Like, what are they doing? How fast are they moving? Am I able to keep up? So I love that Coach Nikki, you know, takes the girls, you know, to Dallas to see that, because it gives them something to aspire to, right? And like most people think they want to do something until they're there or until they see it. They're like, maybe you know, like, am I really going to be able to keep up? You know, because usually people just say things, but like when it comes to like actually doing it, you know. So I love that she takes them there so they can see like how fast the WNBA is. Very fast. You know, you can, I mean, the same with the NBA. In college, sometimes you take the ball, you dribble it, walk it up, dribble it. But in the WNBA, it's 2 passes and it's a layup. There's 1 pass and it's a layup. So there's not a lot of waiting around.
Very good. This may not be a fair question, but how much has the WNBA improved since you were playing? I think 2015 was your last year to play. What do you think about the league? You know, the quality of the competition, quality of the players.
I definitely think it has improved, obviously, from the financial perspective. You know, so that's huge. Like if there's moments when who played with me, we're like, man, if if we had some of the things that just go back to college, oh gosh, NIL. Oh goodness, somebody was like, how much money would you have made? I was like, you know,
that's true. Sorry, I brought that up.
I know you kind of hit in the sweet spot, but it's all for the good. I think the WNBA has improved in that sense. I think the game and the skill, I think the girls are they're crafty, you know. There's back in when I played, there was usually like a lot of, you know, post players on the inside working around, but now you have more versatile players that are able to do much more things. And so I think it's going in the right direction of improving it in that way. And like we talk about skill, there are times when I'm watching it and I'm like, wait, could I do that? Oh, did I used to be able to do that? You know,
you could roll out of bed and do it today. You could.
I don't know about roll out of bed. We have to stretch and warm up for a few hours first. But I think it's improving in the right direction.
Very good. Well, it's so good to see you. Thank you very much for your time. Best to Jermaine and your kids. And we just appreciate you and your heart and the way you continue to represent.
Love Baylor. I absolutely love what Baylor stands for. I love the university. I that's one of the reasons why we stayed around here, you know, because of what Baylor has done in my life. And I feel like Baylor holds such a sweet part of who I am. So
that's great. Bless